Hello. This is Irene with SaugaTalks. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to our loyal followers. You're not gonna regret that you tuned in today. Okay, to everyone who is new to the channel, please make sure that you follow us on LinkedIn. We're on X. We're on YouTube. We're on major podcasting platforms. I'm Irene Lakovetsky. I'm speaking with fascinating people in tech, and we discuss all the fantastic use cases, all the new applications, all the challenges and breakthroughs in major industries. And today is not an exception. Subroto Mukherjee with me. Subroto, how are you?
Doing good. Thank you Aaron, for having me here.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. AI is making the huge steps forward. We are all users, some of us developers, some of us business executives, and some of us just tech enthusiasts. Okay, so today, when we talk about AI in retail, in healthcare, it touches us all, right? We're all consumers, and
Yeah.
sometimes we're all patients, if not healthcare professionals. All right. So
Right.
let's step deeper into retail first, because I cannot wait to hear your insights. What are major breakthroughs happening right now, you think?
So yeah, thank you. So I think if you look at retail, and we all have a same touch points. We all be visiting stores. We are checking out the aisles. We go and check out the goods, both online and both offline or in the store. So there are many. I think everybody has a closeness with the retail at this point of time. So if you look at the retail industry, right, I think let's start taking the core areas what is becoming more and more important. So I think if you look at customer acquisition, customer retention, operational efficiency, and then the inventory and assortments and the supply chain that supports that, right? So they are the four key buckets, I think personally, where a lot of the activities is happening. Now everybody wants to get their customer. So how do you get those customers in the store or into their online store, or into other ways to kind of different channels they're looking at? How do you find them? What's the best way to find them, right? Then even if you find them, can I retain them so they come back to my store, come back to my online store, any of those actions? And then while doing this, how best we can serve them, right? When they are here in the store, they should be pleased with the journey, which we call it like the journey from omni-channel journey, or journey from your store to your online. Can we have the seamless experience for them, right? And when we are offering services or offering goods or offering inventory, how best can we offer them? So your presentation, your accessibility, your reach, your alignment, your assortment, those are the very important part in this whole journey, right? So now, coming back to the latest technologies, AI becomes a very important aspect, right? So you start looking at how can we really apply AI in this specific space, right? So there is a very important part of looking at how does AI disrupt this sector. So that is the whole thing. So let's start with in store, which is everybody is back after COVID, and we were not going there at the point of time, and we were all doing online. How can we, when we are going back to the store, is there a different store experience you provide? Like we have like self-service models, we have seen that assortments. There are a lot of innovations like the carts. How do they have the carts? Can the carts itself show up what goods they're buying? That is the inventory. When they're checking out, can that be self-service, be all monitored? Not only monitored, can they give you a good additional value what you're doing? So your then your behavior analytics and forecasting is very important when you are planning to have who are your buyers, what demographics they belong to. Can I have some kind of a greetings differently for them? That's another thing, right? And then store operations, how can we streamline them, right? They're all specific AI based solutions that are slowly getting embedded in it. I'm not saying everything is there, but there's a win happening in those areas where not only AI, but you have an ecosystem of other activities, other technologies coming in, right from your VR activities, your other data, which is kind of very critical for this collections of data or engagement with the consumer. So that is one thing. And then obviously, when you look at the back of the office or where the retail stores are, how efficient your supply chain is. That is the most important, where predictive models of AI is being kind of implemented. your supply chain logistics, your visibility of supply chain is like where the goods are, how better we can streamline. Like the one I was working on my past company is we were predicting the shelves like of our seasonal products, where we would decide and predict what time is the cold and flu will happen, what time the allergy season will happen, and then it is all depends on the region. Like the cold and allergy in the southern part of US versus the northern part of US, the western part of US. How can we have some kind of prediction done based on the past data, based on even some kind of a correlation with the other continent of the world, right? If it's in, we know sometimes some Australia has a different weather pattern, right? So sometimes we have seen there's a correlation how that happens there coming back, and how can we relate to US. So that is another factor. So you have a predictability which can be used, and AI prediction can be used, and that can be then defined to either you want to help the retailers to plan out the shelves, plan out with the supply chain, plan out with your suppliers, and have some kind of a pre-planning using AI and predictive AI in this case. They have that. Now, when coming to the newer, fascinating world of Gen AI, right? Your conversations with your customers, right? Can I have that more and more accurate? And not only that, you have more engaging. Like we tried to do the decision tree based chatbots in our previous organization. Now you have much more summarized answers coming out from your customer support team, because now they can pinpoint to the product information, give you a right answer, because now you can use LLMs and summarization of that. I think that is the most low hanging fruit that is happening on the customer support side. So I think if you look at all of this, so there are plenty of opportunities, plenty of areas and touch points where we are seeing the way AI is getting introduced or tested, learned, and piloted. So I think the traditional models, there was a article I had posted on LinkedIn about, is like there's a still a lot of traditional AI, which is the predictive models, are being used in many areas, which is a very good one to have. And in the front ends facing, customer facing, low hanging fruit, where you have lesser challenges, we can still use generative AI. So that is where customer care bots are being introduced with those solutions. So I hope that kind of a little bit of gives you a roundabout perspective of what's going on in the retail space.
Yeah. And what you describe is every business function basically affected, right? Yet, okay, let's wear the realistic hat now, right? I mean, organizations touching on, right, what's possible. Some are ahead, some are a little behind, some are a little resistant, all right,
Yes.
to sort of, right? So where is that feeling in terms of, ROI, okay, those organizations who are brave enough to invest, but yet they have to look at their bottom line, right? What are
That's
kind
right.
of expectations versus results? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think very valid point. Like I think it's I think when I talk about when I started working on AI like 5-7 years back, focused on AI, I would say there are other areas I was working on end-to-end reporting data, or which is also a foundation for AI. I think those days to get an AI use case approved from a business would take more extra effort. Now with the commercial success of ChatGPT and then people knowing about it, and then suddenly a little bit of, I would say we are still in the hype cycle. We are slowly moving from the hype cycle to a value cycle. I think there is still a lot of pilots considering the generative AI world, right? But the traditional AI is still happening. Now, I would say again, this is again I'm giving some approximations. If I would say 3 years, 4 years back, we were spending $10. I'm just giving you a rough number, right? Now we are eager to spend $15 at least to get more out of this because of sudden successful, even though not every AI implementation has been successful, but we have more appetite for that. And I think a lot of commercialized success of AI because of ChatGPT and other Gen AI. I think it's a talk that happens to the board level, to the leadership level, and you're being asked like, what are you doing in this space, right? So again, I think all the enterprises and everything are using AI to some extent to different level. But at the same time, there's a little bit more appetite to spend money on this. There's more metrics and ROIs being measured, and then value cycle is being kind of taken into consideration. I think that's what I would say it's happening. It is not that, again, from my understanding and my experience, maybe other people have a different perspective, that it is slowly moving, upticking in that area, but it's not like it is bombarded with everything AI, right? I think people are also understanding because, again, considering the different aspects our organization is going through, they will decide to increase the cycle, but they are not like going all in and just spending everything on AI, right? They will have those balances and checks and balances with the amount of budgets they have on that aspect.
Totally understandable. All right. So, how about some advice, okay, for business leaders and technical leaders? Because that line is really blurring in many organizations, right? There are lots of technical, people who understand business really well, right? And there are business people who are tech savvy. Don't you agree? So, where is this kind of good advice in terms of, customer for clients who are starting the implementation of AI, right? And at the same time, kind of what are the, I don't know, hidden dangers out there and risks they have to think about?
Yeah, so I think it's always better to start with some targeted use cases, right? Which is your next best pain points, and what is the best way to look low hanging fruits. It's becoming a very common norm everywhere, right? We are looking at low hanging fruits, small wins, like looking at the key pain points and looking at like customer service area or operational efficiency area, like I was saying, supply chain visibility area, or even placements area. There are so much smaller low hanging fruits where you can start using newer technologies including AI, right, which is and then I would say there's another important aspect is called automation, right? So there is something people are not only focusing that you don't have to be everything AI, but you need to see that before AI, if you reverse the word to IA, it's intelligent automation. Can we have that aspects also there, so that people are the workflows can be automated, there are other aspects to be automated. So look clearly the pain points, look at the lower hanging fruits and pain. And then I think obviously the biggest challenge for any of this to work is the data, right? Can you have a clean structured data, centralized data, or at least the data which is not siloed, scattered around? Can we have a proper of that data? And then also the part is that ecosystem, can those new services be integrated to your ecosystem? Can it be integrated easily? What you have to dismantle, what you have to put together, so like a more of a building blocks. And then obviously considering if you're looking at AI, you have to start building your transparency, trust, data privacy. Don't forget that it's going to come back and bite you, so you definitely have some compliance or some kind of oversight on those part of it. So I think any organization going that direction, I think a lot of them are already there. They are refining that, and the who are not there, they are looking at some of the smaller wins, and then kind of looking at the low cost, effective way to do that would be the right approach. I think so.
Absolutely. And yet we're still in like retail industry realm right now, right? And you mentioned automation, intelligent automation, and an absolute need for streamlining those processes, those workflows for sure. But this is more back office, right? So how
Yes.
companies can balance those efficient automation practices and maintaining personal touch,
Mhm.
because retail is very much right consumer facing industry.
Yes.
So where is
Yes.
the like good balance there, you think?
Yes, I think it's a your right point. Like, and that's why the newer stories of personalization is coming into play, right? If you look at the key aspects of personalization, personalized product recommendation, I have worked much personally on them. We are looking at customer loyalty. Like, if you know the customers well, the demographics, their interests, and that is where I have worked personally on those kind of projects where we have created recommendation engines based on the product cycle, even the area which the store is, or the online where people are coming from, what demographic it is. So you start building those personalized recommendations. I think if you look at it, all the lot of history, because how can you do that? You have so much. Most of the retailers, I think, if you look at especially on retailers, they have so much data, right? You have past data from browsing history, the people who are buying it, which is a challenge when I was in consumer health industry. They have those, they don't have that direct data. That's why we have a lot of this direct to consumer applications coming in to kind of understand the customer directly better. But retailers are very have intensive data about it, like who's buying what is the common basket they are buying. Like if you are buying X, Y, and Z, different products at the same time, you know the basket size, you know what things they are putting in together. So I think when you are doing, if you're coming and buying the next time, say toothpaste, a pain cream, or of a or a milk, but you need to buy, I know you usually buy some other snacks at the point of time. If they are forgetting that, could be a recommendation, say, hey, we have a new set of snacks which be different, maybe you might like it. So those kind of offerings are becoming more and more personalized, and the basket sizes are what people are looking at. So those historical data helps to design those personalized recommendation. It helps in the lifetime value. This is also one of the metrics you look at, like how can you retain the customer. The loyalty increases, right? Obviously you have other areas. I think if you look at Netflix, you all have been watching, right? Your recommendations is very critical. Amazon, similarly, now if you look at the similar product cycle, when you buy any retailers nowadays, right? If you go to Target, Walmart, when you buy things online, if you guys go and see the similar looking things in the site, which is all recommendation based on your history and past data or similar liking initiatives. That's becoming more and more clear norms, and everybody's offering. And I was working for an international customer in Australia. They wanted to have similar areas to be added up to the portfolio and offering. I think it's a very common theme where industry retailers are putting in more of this and refining that as you go in the journey.
Where is this fine tuning coming from in terms of, is it expensive for organization that is not a major retailer, right? How expensive it is to sort of get to those models and those advanced tools that they work for business and for customers as well.
That's correct. That's correct. So I think, yeah, if you look at cost and expensive, it is where the in the companies or organizations is looking at the ROIs, right? So if I have to acquire data from a third party, what does it bring in? So if you are having your own data, but you're looking from something from the industry, from the market, like about different other aspects, other data you're bringing in the source. If you're spending, suppose, for example, $100, that's the overall. When I implement it, am I getting 20% increase in my sales, right? That is where the cost is definitely a factor, but ROI on introducing those data elements, integrating into analytics, or your intelligent analytics, I would call it, will help you to drive to see we can add more and more of this data sources to get a better outcomes from there.
Let's turn into the healthcare now. Okay.
Sure.
I cannot wait to hear, right? What are the new promising AI applications that are
Yeah.
affecting, patient care outcomes? We want to hear about wonderful positive implementations, because we know AI way into healthcare was not very smooth or quick. Okay, it's evolving as we speak. So please,
Yeah.
right, what are kind of, some good promising AI applications?
Yeah, I think if you look at it, the biggest impact of AI is the drug discovery and development cycle, right? Like if you look at previously, it would be up to a 10-year cycle, if you look at even COVID during the time, it up to 8 months to 10 months, right? So a lot of the drug discovery, the molecules, filtering it out, all of that is because now you since have your vast amount of data, including genetic data, including the decentralized clinical trial data, which is helping people. Now you have smartwatches, you have people who can collect better, you have a lot of information that gets collected together. So now if you look at the vast amount of data is helping you to analyze it, obviously which you have a more computing power, you have using AI models, you are using predictive AI models, you have using obviously newer models on data on AI, that is helping to reduce the drug discovery cycle, right? That is the most biggest use case, I think, personally, from a human kind perspective. But then apart from that, I was talking about personalization in the retail space. Like if you take the same aspect, now you have a more personalized treatment plans. Now personalized treatment plans in terms of over the counter, like if you don't have to be a doctor medication, but if you're looking at over the counter medication, so you're looking at vitamins, which is one of the projects I worked on my past company. We were looking at personalized food plan, right, where you have vitamins along with the vitamins. They know that okay, we can give you a personal recipe in that personal thing, right? So apart from looking at what your specific scenario is, and this is where the digital health apps, a lot of people are using it, is where the applications becoming a more and more AI driven, personalized information, personalized treatment plans, personalized vitamins, personalized food plan. I think all of that is slowly driving it out. And then I think that robotics, which is also an AI, another aspect is coming in for surgery, precision skilled surgery. And I've been talking about like 5 years back, working with a large hospital in New Jersey. They were showing us what they are planning on precision-based surgery, where you can take the help on robotics and AI to kind of help you to even define the area the surgery would happen, and define the area. It will help you to not even the surgical arms doctors are using can help you not to go beyond certain points. A lot of that aspect can be covered, and is becoming more and more prevalent going forward. I think, and then I think your most important part is also remote patient monitoring, right? You have smartwatches, telehealth, things can help you to drive it, and that is becoming a more and more aspect. But the most important thing I want to mention is the most important thing that's going on is about the focus on health equity. Now, if you look at the younger generation and our generation, a lot of the people who are right now is self care. So in the self care, the disease management, your personal care management, you have apps, you are having your meditation apps, you're having other things. So that is where I think the overall direction of healthcare, with all of this technology stack helping it out in overall perspective. So there's a big focus on equity, health equity about yourself, right? That's coming out there.
What kind of vibe and messages we're getting from healthcare community though, okay? Because when you work with people, you are in charge of their health decisions, all right? So applying that knowledge, and people spend decades, okay, studying
Mhm.
in their field, all right?
Yes.
So what kind of trust is in there now? I know it's changing over time, and
Mhm.
doctors and nurses and everyone around them, right, learning to trust technology a little more
Yes.
nowadays.
Mhm.
But what kind of situation we're talking about here?
Yeah, uh, I think if you talk about trust and talking about like, are they ready to prescribe it? Like, if you're looking at the doctors is to prescribe your medications, are they ready to prescribe you the health apps for you? So maybe they're officially doing it, but slowly in the whole ecosystem. And that's why the little bit of digital health is not not gone very significantly high, because it's still not being paid by insurance. But there is a different parts of the world, like Germany has DIGA, where they're applying amount of money every month to help on digital health apps. I think it all depends on how effective and how trustworthy those applications are, and how they are developed. So I think it's more about when you are developing these apps and solutions, you have some ways to kind of take the bias out of it, right? The algorithms you're building, data you are putting in, and then this overall, I think, if there is a way to kind of make that very open and defined, and also clearly mention that this is how we are protecting the data, this is how we are adhering to the rules and regulations, and this is how we have built this AI systems with reducing the bias, and we have all the checks and balances. It is not that everybody gets sold on it, but at least one of that mode of transparency and openness can help people to get in. And I think we are eventually looking at that a lot of people are using these tools, a lot of people are getting in there. But I think it's more of this, I think the communication, more of this explanation of what these tools are, can help to get more people in driving into this journey, right? That is where I think
Absolutely,
that has
but we, yeah, Subroto, absolutely, but you know what? We cannot not touch ethical and even
ethical.
operational challenges, right? So let's
Exactly.
start with
Yeah.
ethical.
I think it's all depends on which segment of the organization you are. If you're a startup, you have to start building it right from the beginning. Like I was part of all the large organizations. We have compliance team. We have teams who reviews the data. We have all the GDPR, HIPAA, CCPA, California Protection Act. We have all of that reviews done. And then I think that is where, because it's not only if you have any of this if you have any of the challenges with this, you have regulatory penalties, right? You have people looking at it. So I think the compliance and ethical oversight is very critical, and we have almost every organization has to. We had to go through a lot of checks and balances, documentations, to get these things. If we are putting this in the market, or we are promoting it, we have a legal team, we have the compliance team. We have to make we have to put all the guardrails around it, so that it becomes more and more ethical AI, which is what we call it, right? Responsible AI. So all of that responsibility and AI is part of the organization. We have to make sure that it is ingrained in it, there are steps in it. We are not diverting from it, or we are not skipping them out. I think that's a very foundation thing. And then communicating back that we have this audits done, we have this kind of checks and balances done. I think that will help in terms of there. So I think it's more prevalent in the healthcare world. There are by default regulations. I think the data perspective is everyone is maintaining. We retail all of that with protections on in terms of your cookies, how do you install the cookies, what tracking you are using. Now you can see all the pop-ups when you go to every site, because again this regulations is like data is managed, how data is being kept, so the targeting information is properly managed. So every company is doing that. They have embedded um, stuff in the online stuff. So I think that's there. I think every company is doing. If you're not doing it, make sure we all have to. The company has to start focusing on that and having right teams to kind of oversight that.
Thank you so very much for your time today, Subroto. Absolutely, time is flying. All right, so I would like to finish with the future trends. Okay, if you don't mind sharing, what future holds for all of us. It's not a thankful job to predict the future. I know that much. But in
Right.
your opinion, in both in retail and healthcare, what's kind of out there that we hopefully get to see?
I think it's more about how you engage end to end from omni-channel perspective from your store, which is called the word is like making sure that you are now a journey, a seamless journey, whether you are in store, out store. You
Mhm.
can be anywhere in the journey, but you can be like getting the information, accessing it anywhere, or getting the recommendation. I think a very seamless for the next 2 years or 3 years. We cannot predict the future. I like the one of the statements I think what the Gartner report was mentioning is we cannot predict the future, but we can invent it, right? So all of this is actually becoming more and more transparent. Like your virtual worlds are coming in, which is now there was a little bit of pause it, but you have Vision Pro, we have newer models of glasses coming out. So I think if you look at it, you can shop while walking. You don't have to go to a store with your glasses. That's the future, right? You're talking to your other people. You might call in your mom or your wife or your kid to kind of, hey, can I buy this? So they also are in the same distance, and we can do an instant uh, purchase, right? And same thing, your doctor. The doctor is next to you. You have a telehealth which is already there, and you are there. The hospitals are becoming to a smart hospitals where you don't have to go to a hospital. Sometimes you are there. You're back. Your home becomes a hospital. You are managing your entire thing remotely. The doctors can see you or monitor the thing remotely from your home. So that the bigger hospitals are moving to a smart and smaller hospitals. I think that's where I think the journey is going to happen. Um, more, I think it's more about power of consumer is increasing in that perspective, and AI is helping them to transcend faster on that.
Incredible, incredible. So I'm really hoping that all the technology, amazing breakthrough, okay, we get to
Yes,
experience in our lifetime. All right. I
absolutely.
hope
We are
it will
there.
make us happier and live longer, those happier lives we're all striving for.
Yep.
Absolutely. I enjoyed so much our conversation today. Thank you.
Same
Thank you.
here.
In
Thank you.
conclusion, could you please, I don't know, maybe finish with few takeaways, okay? Something to remember this conversation by, maybe
Yeah.
something, I don't know, lesson learned or
I think we are still the journey is quite fascinating. I would say, right? We are learning new things every day, and implementing them in a more ethical and responsible and I would say a friendly environment. That's what I would call it. Right? We all try to help each other out, and then at the same time enjoy the benefits of the new technologies without disrupting our life in that way. Right? That's what I would say, and that's going on there.
fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Thank you.